Welcome to this session on sales process. So in the previous couple of sessions we talked about marketing and communication, and those are things that are done to try to attract buyers, and sometimes that's your entire sales process, is you can win new customers through marketing. There are other types of businesses where you actually have to go do a sales process where you actively go out and pursue customers. Most businesses require that, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. A common metaphor that is used for a sales process is a funnel, and so this is considered a sales funnel, and people use all kinds of different labels to indicate where things are in their sales funnel. For example, outside of your funnel you might put targets. I like to call it targets. Some people call them prospects, prospective buyers. These are people that are in that market that you've defined as the one that you want to own. So these are targets. They're outside the funnel. They haven't done anything yet, but they're people that you're going to go after. Once they do something and they respond to you in some way, then they become leads and they go into the top of your funnel. And so targets become leads, and then leads, you generally qualify them. And then they move on down the funnel, and so they might go from being qualified to being an opportunity. So a qualified prospect potentially, to an opportunity, to something that you're going to forecast, which means you expect to close it, to they've been won or closed. And so the labels are less important. Select whatever labels make sense for you and your business, but this is the idea that they're a universe of potential people or companies you could sell to. You go take some action against them, and when they respond, they become leads. Then you generally qualify them, and then some of those move on and become opportunities that you then expect to close, and you forecast, or you're in negotiation. So you're going to negotiate with them, and then some of those you're going to win. And so some of the things when you look at this is, one, you want to have it structured, and two, you want to measure the percent. We call this a conversion rate. How many of, if you go hit 100 targets, how many of them respond to you? Of the ones that respond to you, how many of them are qualified? Of the ones that are qualified, how many of them become an opportunity? Of those on down, and so how many do you win? So then you can say, if we target 100 accounts, after I go through all of these things, I win 10 of them. And so I have a 10% conversion ratio from targets to one. And so you want to track that, and then you're always looking for ways to improve that. If I can improve this by 5%, then I've got more opportunities. If I can include my opportunity to negotiate stage by 5%, then I have more that I'm negotiating on, and then I'm ultimately winning more. So you're fine-tuning this all the way. So this is kind of the high-level way to think about sales process. The way I like to think about it is this, though. I like to think about three things: steps, tools, and then people. And so steps is, what are each of the detailed steps that I'm going to take in my sales process? And you may have 3 steps, you may have 13. I've worked with a lot of companies that have more steps than you can hardly count, but let's just say that we have these steps lined up here. And so maybe step 1, let's pick a business. Let's say I'm going to sell solar panels, and I'm going to sell them only to businesses in cities. So I may live in a little town or in a village. It doesn't matter. I've decided the nearest city, I'm going to target businesses in that city because I know they have enough money to buy solar panels. And so the approach I'm going to take, my first step is I'm going to send them a mailer to every business, or once a week I'm going to send 50. I'm going to pick 50 companies and mail to 50. So my tool is a mailer. So I have to design that. That's the first tool or material that I need, is a mailer. And it's going to be a mailer that says, call this number, or email me, or mail this corner of the mailer back to me to receive information about the savings that you can gain by using a solar panel system at your office building. And so I've sent them a mailer. They respond back to me in whatever way makes sense in your area. And so then the next thing that I do is all of those are my targets. So when they respond back to me and say, I'd like that information on the savings that could be created by using solar panel, they become a lead. Now I know about them. Out of the 100 mailers I sent out, 25 of them said they want the piece. And so the next thing I'm going to send them is the brochure on savings that come from the use of solar panel over time and the impact on the environment and whatever. And so now I'm going to send them the brochure. Well, after I mail that brochure to them, I'm not just going to sit there and wait and hope that maybe someday they come and buy from me. My next step is I'm going to make a call. And so I'm going to have somebody call and say, you responded to our mailer, we sent you the brochure that talks about the savings from solar panels, etc. Like to see if we could set up a time where one of our people could come over and they'll bring you some additional information and show you a solar panel and talk to you about how easy it is to install the solar panels. So that call then leads to a meeting. So that's my fourth step. And so it's a face-to-face meeting. Sometimes we'll say F2F. So face-to-face meeting where I'm going to send one of my salespeople over to dazzle them. Go through the presentation using the communication methods that we talked about before and the value proposition development that we talked about in the marketing segment. Going to go to a meeting and completely dazzle them. At the end of that meeting, they're going to say, wow, this sounds great. We'd love to get the solar panels. How much do they cost? So you give them a ballpark price and you say, but let me give you a detailed proposal. And so you prepare a proposal that you're going to provide to them that's based on their specific needs, how big their building is, how much money's in their budget, and so on. And then ultimately you're going to negotiate with them and close, and they'll sign the agreement. And so we go through these steps, and these are the tools that we need. So we need to develop a mailer for our sales process. We need to develop a brochure that we'll send after that. This mailer is going to be on letterhead. This brochure is going to be nice and pretty. Then we're going to have somebody make a call. So we're going to develop a call script. Here's the things that they should say on that call to get the person to say yes to the meeting. It can be simple, a few bullet points. They don't have to read it exactly. But here's the call, face-to-face meeting. We're going to have a presentation, and we're going to have the solar panels there, an example, and we're going to have the installation plan. That's what I stands for, the install plan. So I got a presentation of the value of solar panels. I got an actual solar panel to make them go, oh wow, I want one of those. And then I've got an installation plan. They say yes. I've got a proposal. So this is a multi-page document that's really nice and talks about the savings they'll receive and the pricing and when you can start the installation and how long it'll take and so on and so forth. And then I've got a contract that they will sign down at the bottom, and we'll do that. And so now I've designed a sales process, and I want to follow this every time, and I want to measure how many of these turn into this, how many go to there, how many go to there, how many go to there, how many go to there. My conversion rates at each one. And then the last step that we do when we're thinking about sales process is who are the people that need to be involved in each one of these steps. And so the mailer, maybe I have somebody in marketing and that's all they do. So this is a marketing person, MKTG marketing. This is a marketing person. Then this call, I have an inside sales person that all they do all day is sit there and call people that have asked for the brochure. And then I have a field sales or a salesperson that actually goes to meetings. And then I have another person back here, maybe it's my marketing person, or I have somebody that just does proposals. Depends on how big your business is. And then the last thing is agreement. My salesperson puts that together and sends it out, or actually brings it to him so he can close in person. So sales process, think of your funnel. You can use whatever labels you want. What are the steps that will yield the best results in selling? What are the tools that you're going to use. So create them and make them easily adaptable. So like your proposal, you change a couple names and you know, the company name and the person's name and the date, and you send it out easily, but it looks all customized. And then who on your team is going to do each one of these. If you're just starting your business and you're an entrepreneur and you're the only employee, you're going to do all of them. But you're going to be constantly thinking, and we'll talk in later modules about how you build your team and which one of these positions should you hire and fill first, so that you no longer have to do this piece or that piece or this piece or this piece, and which one makes the most sense. And so who's going to do each of those tasks? This is what you want to think through a sales process. Good luck.